All right, let's bring in Michael Breed, who's been watching this like the rest of us. Michael, we had been talking all week about how this course was going to play much different than it did in the fall, and we saw that. Even guys who were able to get it to 3 or 4 couldn't do much more on the back 9. Why is the course playing so difficult today?
Well, Augusta National is all about the greens, and if you just watch any of the coverage, what you're going to see is those greens are, and they've been talking about it, are very, very firm, but they're very, very fast and they're browning out. And what that does is that shrinks greens, and the whole locations where they are right now are very, very challenging. And so what you end up getting is a lot of pressure. Take that shot that Webb Simpson hit. We saw Dustin Johnson on 16 hit it to the right, and he 3-putted, because when it gets up that hill, now all of a sudden green speeds are picking up, and the next thing you know, you've got 15 feet for your par. And what I can tell you is as those greens get faster and get firmer, they shrink. And when they shrink, I don't care whether you've got a sand wedge in your hand or you've got a 4-iron in your hand, those things are tiny, and it becomes really difficult for you to get the ball close to the hole. That score of 3 under par by Brian Harman, Hideki Matsuyama, those are great opening rounds.
Hideki's a guy who we thought he was going to pick up a major championship 5 years ago. I mean, he was really on pace to become one of the elite golfers in the world, and we haven't really heard that much from him the last several years. What has kept his game down, and how did he change that in round 1?
Well, look, he's always been a great ball striker. That's been a fact. What he has gone through over the last little bit is he's changed his swing. He took the pause out of his golf swing, and that can sometimes take a little time to get used to, and it has taken Hideki a bit of time. But here's the thing that's always been the struggle for Hideki. It's been the putter. He had an opportunity at Quail Hollow at the PGA Championship. He went into that final round with the lead. That ultimately was won by Justin Thomas. But I can tell you that the putting is getting a little bit better. He's getting a lot more confident. He's starting to trust his motion. The ball striking has always been there, but the putter is now starting to cooperate a little bit. And if he can continue to trust himself on the greens, he's going to be there as part of the conversation come Sunday.
2 of the world's best are 2 over par. Dustin Johnson, the favorite at this event, and Brooks Koepka, who came into this event with a huge question mark, not knowing what we were going to get from him just 2.5 weeks removed from knee surgery. What did you think of how they both kind of fought their way around the course today?
Well, I think for Brooks, it's a fight of physical struggle. It's not a fight of whether his golf swing can work. It can on a level lie. You start getting on these side hill lies, and it's very difficult for him to trust that knee, to make that transition off of that right side. And you saw that a little bit, particularly as the round got going. I mean, talking later in the round on the second 9. And as this tournament continues to go and the stress gets higher and higher, I think what you're going to find with Brooks is that it's going to continue to be a struggle. Dustin, on the other hand, that's really as bad as he could have shot, in my opinion. And I think what will happen, particularly if we get a little bit of rain, if that comes along and it softens the golf course, I think Dustin's going to be there. The putter is fine. The ball striking is very good. And I think at 2 over par, believe me, 2 over par in November, you're in trouble. 2 over par in April, you're okay.
Yeah, listen, in that morning grouping, there were a couple of guys who got to 4 under, including Hideki Matsuyama, but they just could not get it to 5, 6, 7 like we're so used to seeing at the Masters over the years. Course conditions certainly playing a factor. Rory McIlroy, one of those guys who's going to benefit from the fact that we're not going really low in the opening round. He was 5 over through, I believe, 13, and it was close to going off the rails. Finished the last 5 holes at 1 under par, and it kind of reminds me of the way he's played a lot of majors in the last couple of years. Really rough opening round, but wouldn't be surprised if he goes out tomorrow and shoots 68.
Well, let's not forget in November, he shot 75 in the first round, and he finished tied 5th with a bunch of really solid play. Look, the fact of the matter is that, and this is a guy who I thought was going to win this tournament, and I still think he can, but he's going to have a very low round. And in order for him to do that, he needs the rain to come in. That golf course needs to get soft for him so that he can attack those hole locations. I don't believe there's a 64 out there as this golf course sits right now. But if we do get some rain and it does get a little bit softer, I think what you're going to find is that a guy like Rory McIlroy can go out there, he can force the issue. Now, what can also happen is the opposite. If he starts trying to take on hole locations that he shouldn't, now all of a sudden he could end up shooting a rather high number and miss this cut. Tomorrow's round is an important round for Rory McIlroy. He needs to have a good one. And if he doesn't have 66 or 65, it could be a very, very long week for him or a very short one.
Let's go back to red numbers for the guys who teed off in the morning, and a really impressive round from Webb Simpson. This is a guy who, he's not one of the top 5 bigger names in the world, but he's top 10 in the world. He had the best scoring average on tour last season at 68. That was his average. What did you see from him in round 1?
Well, the thing about Webb Simpson, and he's 35 years of age, and everybody talks about Augusta National being all about experience. If you look at what Webb did, say, in his first 3 attempts here at Augusta National, it wasn't very good. But the last couple have been very good. And Webb, we had Webb on our show Course Record last year and talked about, what's been the difference for you at Augusta National? He said, what I have learned is I don't have to be great. I just have to miss in the right spots. And Augusta National, we talk about experience. Experience at Augusta National is knowing where to miss shots. And what happens when you do that is you end up shooting low scores. Webb missed in the wrong spot on 16. He ends up making a double bogey. But if you look at that round of golf, other than that, it's very consistent and very solid. There is a lot of opportunity that exists at Augusta National, provided that you know how to miss and when to attack. I think he got a little bit aggressive on 16, didn't quite use the slope the way that he could have. Again, as I said earlier, the pressure of Augusta National, when those greens get firm and fast, those targets start to shrink. And I think he tried to get a little bit too aggressive on that approach. But I think Webb has learned a lot over the last couple of years here at Augusta National. And that's really the reason why he's going to be so successful. He's not afraid to go low. He makes a lot of birdies. He has been the leader in birdie average on the PGA Tour, and he makes a ton. He's comfortable with this change that he's made to the putter now over the last few years. And I think Webb Simpson is a guy now who really understands Augusta National and the nuances that go with it.
And so does Patrick Reed, who's tied with him at 2 under par. Patrick Reed won this in 2018. And a lot of us thought he was going to have a good week because he's been the best putter on tour so far. Was it the flat stick that got him to red numbers on this day?
What gets Patrick Reed success here at Augusta National is grit, determination. This is a guy who has a short game, is the best on tour. He's a great putter. I'm telling you right now, what I love about Patrick Reed is he never gives up. You see that bogey at 13, the bogey at 18. That's sort of uncharacteristic of Patrick, as good as his short game is, to make a bogey on a par 5 and to finish with a bogey. But what I can tell you about Patrick is he has an exceptional touch around the greens, and that is what you have to do at Augusta National to be successful. He's also a fabulous, fabulous putter. Augusta National, when it gets firm and fast, you don't have to hit it the farthest out there. You just have to make sure that you give yourself positioned or keep yourself in position and don't put yourself into the second cut. Challenge yourself with approach shots coming into the greens. Rely on your putting, rely on your short game, take advantage of the par 5s, which Patrick has done absent of the 13th hole. And I believe that Patrick, a past champion, is going to continue to play at the level that he's played at in round 1.
Great analysis from Michael Breed as we follow the guys in the morning session at Augusta. They'll be teeing off in the afternoon on Friday. We'll see how much the course changes, if there is any rain, because as Michael said, that would change everything, and that would be huge for somebody like Rory McIlroy, who shot a 4 over 76 in the first round. You can see much more from Michael on CBS Sports Network Mondays with Course Record with Michael Breed. Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.